Well, here at Adventures Guild of Riverside, so we've had a lot of requests on how to play Warhammer 40K. So this is a really fast, quick demo on how to play the game, what you would need. If anything, or so you would need a tape measure, the templates, dice, and then of course figures and a nice terrain setting or so to go ahead and play. Let's go ahead or so and we'll briefly explain or so a little bit or so on some of the participants in this battle, which will be the Space Marines, the Space Marine Commander, the Orc War Boss, and some of the Orc Boys. The GW does have a stat line, a weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, just basically so how strong that person is. Their toughness, how tough they are. Their W, which is wounds. I is initiative, how fast or quicker so they are to respond. A is the number of attacks. Leadership or so will depend upon if they're going to stick around and fight or if they're going to run away. And then, of course, so their save. So let's go ahead or so and then go quickly or so on a game. These orcs or so are in difficult terrain, so they'll have to roll 2d6 to go ahead and see how far they can move. You'd pick the highest, so they would be able to move 4 inches. They need to stay or so within squad coherency of at least 2 inches or so with the other model. The War Boss, he has a movement of 6. He's not in difficult terrain, he's in clear area, so he can move his full movement of 6 inches. Wherever on the base so that you're going to measure, I would go ahead or so and do that or so from when you're measuring out from the other side. These orcs are not going to go ahead or so and move. Instead, they're going to elect to go ahead or so and shoot at these scouts so they've gotten a little bit too close. So let's look or so to see what they're going to need. The Orc Boys have a ballistic skill of 2, which means, on their quick reference sheet, they are going to need up the dice. The big shooter is separate, the knob is separate. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 boys are shooting. We're going to stop right there and let you know or so on. Fortunately for this, they needed 5, not a single one hit. So all that shot so they still miss. But at least so we have the big shooter. Now, the big shooter still going to need the same sort of go hit, but it has a larger strength than the shooters that the other boys were actually doing. So let's hope or so that we can at least hit with that. Again, we're still going to need those 5s to go ahead and hit. Okay. We have 2 that missed and 1 that hit. Now we will take or so that strength or so of that weapon, which for, as I said before, the big shooter so is a 5. The wound chart, strength of the weapon is a 5. The Marine's toughness, as we know, so is a 4. So we will go ahead and cross-reference the strength to the toughness. So we need a 3+ to go ahead so and wound the Marines. We roll a 1. It didn't do anything. The knob, as I said before, he still has a ballistic skill 2. Same thing. He'll go ahead and he'll take his shot. Miss 2. No firing there. Now, what they will do is, because you either would shoot and then you can assault, you would move, do your shooting, and then if you're close enough, so you can assault. Orcs or so have that one thing or so with their weapons, or so actually rapid fire, so they can still go ahead or so and assault even after they shoot. So their assault is going to be 6 inch. So let's go on to the assault phase. He's engaged. He's engaged. try to go ahead or so and put closest to closest. Didn't quite make it, but this is what it's starting to look like. The orcs are piling in. Orcs are very poor shooters, very good in hand-to-hand fighting. The squad is basically at this point here. Now, we do have an engagement here, 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 and here. They would go ahead or so, and then, rather quickly now, the orcs' weapon skill is a 4. Their initiative or so is a 2. The Marines or so, which those are scouts, are a, we'll just for, at least for sake, so treat them or so as tactical Marines. They have initiative of 4 and 2 attack, or 1 attack. Okay, so 3 Marines went ahead so and they hit. Now we have to go ahead so and they have done the wounds, so they're going to need on their strength a 4 versus the orc's toughness 4. So looking back or so on that chart again, 2 wounds, strength 4, toughness 4. They're going to need 4s. Okay, 2 wounded, 1 did not. So basically, of those 2 orcs, we need to make their saves. They're going to need 6s to go ahead and save. Neither saved. 2 orcs dead. Now, the remaining orcs or so will be able to go ahead and attack back on the Marines. Again or so, they normally or so have 2 attacks each. They charge, so they get an extra 1. So this one have is normal 2, plus this 1 for charging, 3. This one, the same thing too. 2, and then 1 for charging. So a total of 3 and 3, 6 dice. Now, their weapon skills are 4. The Marines' weapon skills are 4, as we already know. 4 with a 4, so they're going to need 4s to go ahead and hit. Okay. So from this, so we can actually see so that 4 hit, 2 blows did not. From the 4 so that hit, we still have to go ahead so and then wound. The orc boys' strength or so are 3. Of course, so the Marines or so toughness is a 4. So now we're going to look at their strength 3 against their toughness. The Marines' toughness 4, so they're going to need 5s to go ahead so and actually wound. One orc did. So we'll just say him was able to go ahead so wound the Marine. The Marine now has to make his save. Marine save or so on a 3+. That's that little number at the far end. So that Marine will have to make a save. He didn't. 1 Marine died. Okay. So the combat, go ahead so we will resolve. The Marines killed 2 orcs. The orcs killed 1 Marine. The Marines have essentially won combat. They did more wounds or so than the orcs did. The orcs will go ahead and have to go ahead so and make their leadership roll. They are a 7 leadership. They do have a knob with them, which still 7. So on 2 dice, you're going to have to roll a 7 or less. They did not. So they're going to actually, they've lost combat. They're going to actually have to flee. And we would go ahead and roll dice again to see how far back. So they ran. At this point or so, the Marines have actually won. If you want to go ahead or so and learn how to play any of our other games so that we have, War Machine, Axis and Allies, any of our other miniature games too, Flames of War, we will be doing other video how to play these other games. And of course, you can always come into the store and ask or so for an employee or so for a game demo. All the employees here know how to play all the miniature games, and all the employees also have anywhere between 3 to 7 armies or so in those particular same games too. They are very dedicated or so players. If anything or so, just check the links on the bottom, and hope to see you next time.